Georgia scrapes out a 37-20 win. Scrapes out is probably the wrong word. There were just some moments in this game that were not ideal. The turnovers, obviously, one led to 7 points, and then the other one was a great play by the defense, just getting off the field. There's a lot of stuff that we've talked about in the past that Georgia did better today. I mean, it was a 3-and-out after the Carson Beck fumble, and then on the Peyton Woodring. I mean, Peyton Woodring was very good today. We don't always get a lot of specific numbers on that, but I mean, he's really knocking them in there at this stage. We do get specific numbers, but I can't find it off the top of my head. Carson Beck 29-39 with the interception. The interception was bad. He said he got tipped. He was sacked twice, scored a touchdown on that sneak. John Edwards. I mean, Kirby asked after the game, where would they be without Edwards? I guess they would probably have a loss. I don't know if they'd certainly have a loss. They wouldn't have a loss today. But today was, about surviving. Brock Bowers getting hurt, and then you got Xavier Truss getting hurt. To me, as a person on the field and non-medical opinion, it didn't look like either of them were super serious. Kirby said multiple times that he felt like Brock Bowers would be okay. Brock never kind of busted loose today. He had 4 catches for 22 yards. He also had a couple carries, which were not listed on here. I thought Kendall Milton really looked good when he played. This team, to be honest with you, and they may be good enough to get to the SEC championship game undefeated, but they might need the time between the SEC championship game and the playoff to sort of even get right. I mean, they're a banged up bunch. Talk about Lab McConkey, Kendall Milton. They both, have to. There's practice. There's sort of a counter on Lab McConkey. Obviously, Kendall Milton today, the MCL kind of got on his nerves a little bit. So they need other guys to step up. Now, listen, I don't hate this performance. I hate moments of this performance that were just not great. Kirby called him sloppy. He's right about that. And but when you look at the totality of things, 542 yards to Vanderbilt's 219. Vanderbilt had about a yard a carry, so 15 of 18. I mean, it's just crazy. Georgia was 39 with 281. This was exactly the sort of thing that I thought would happen here. It's an earlier game, which is to me fine. I love earlier games, particularly on the road. And I thought that, you got to create your own, kind of get up and go. And the bad start, which didn't really, I mean, I wouldn't say it was fine, but like that didn't cost him really a lot. Vanderbilt made one really good play, and it looked like that was going to be it for their entire game. But then, Georgia went up 27-7, and then Vanderbilt scored the touchdown going into the fourth quarter. But this was about right. This is why I picked Vanderbilt against the spread. I don't know what Georgia's line with Florida will be, but I'll probably pick Georgia on that one. But again, like there's so many things. If you watch, there were only 4 penalties on Georgia the whole day. They controlled the clock. They had 11 of 16 on third down conversions, which is great. Fourth down conversions, 1 of 1. 7 of 8 in the red zone. I don't recall when they didn't. I guess it was they kneeled down at the end that didn't score. So there's a lot of really good stuff. I mean, just being honest. I mean, and if there are some moments that were bad, but you're not going to play every game like you did last week, and you're not going to play every game like you did this one. And I mean, I hate to be this guy. I really like where they're at. I mean, I think they're the favorite to win the national championship for a reason. They came up here and didn't play great. They didn't play bad either, and they won by 17. So, I think the score was somewhat indicative of what we saw on the field. I think Georgia probably beat Vanderbilt by a little bit more than that, to be honest with you. It was probably more like 37-13. But, don't get obsessed with the line. I mean, this is why you should not bet, particularly on Georgia. Don't get obsessed with the line. The line is just a barometer of things. To me, it's a percentage chance that you win the game. Not even anything other than that. Hey, make sure you're checking out our buddies at EcoPoly. Look at this chair, man. Could you imagine sitting in this chair all the time? That's not what you want outside, man. This is press box junk. That's not what you want. That sounds bad. This is not what you want. I wouldn't sit in that chair. Get a quality sitting experience with our friends from EcoPoly. They got all sorts of stuff that you need. The link is down below. Completely recycled material, 20-year warranty, made in the heart of Georgia, in Dodge County, and our friends in Eastman. Check out EcoPoly today. Christmas is like not 2 months away, but we're getting there. So this is something that they craft in-house in Eastman. I mean, I've seen it, and it's an impressive thing. The link is right down below. Make sure too. Let me just say this about everything Georgia. If you're not on our newsletter, and I'm gonna put the link down there for that too, you're really missing out. Now it's grown a lot, and I get that. And it's grown a lot because we promoted it because Georgia's had a good run here lately, but you're missing out because we can't have a relationship with you that's only through the screen. We need you to check us out on our newsletter. It's very important that you do that because you're missing out on all the stuff like the Brock Bowers stuff today. We sent an article out. That was the whole world. Well, if you're not on the newsletter, you don't see it. So make sure it's in your hand. The way to do that is through the newsletter. You're going to get an update basically every day. It's not an intrusive update either, by the way. So again, Edwards, 20 for 146, amazing. And that's just amazing. Carson, 29 of 39, just the interception and the fumble. Now, the fumble didn't cost him. I do want to say shout out to Cedric Van Pran. Wow, man. Let me just try to get this on the screen. Dude, that was so impressive. I'm not joking either. I mean, the play he made to just not just scoop the ball up and be certain that Georgia had it. But he scooped the ball up, and my man is going. This is so. I'm gonna get it on the screen here. I got a couple Vanderbilt shots for y'all. I might start doing this a little bit more often. Uh-oh, yeah, we're gonna say okay. Nope. This was the scene on the field, which was, I think that people talking about the construction might have been a little bit. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. A little sideline action here, Brock Bowers, and then look at your boy. Oh my goodness, my man is airborne here, y'all. To which I would say, uh-oh. To which I would say to Matt DeBerry, why can't you do that? Matt's not an athlete like this though. I mean, look at this guy. I can't go in on it more. I don't know. Well, there it is. A little soft on my end. That's my fault. But and the computer is my Mac is a little bit slow right now, probably because it's trying to do 16,000 things at once. But my man's got some serious. I mean, look at that leap. Cedric, if I don't get this to you, how about connect with us and I'll get it to you as fast as I can. Sorry about all the movement there, but that was a great play from Cedric Van Pran. I mean, could David Andrews do that? David, could you do that? I mean, I don't see David Andrews leaping over people. I see David, handling people. Could Ben Jones do that? I don't know. I don't know. Cedric Van Pran did today though. Fernando Velasco could not do that. I'm just going to start naming centers. Peter Anderson, 1985. Peter Anderson scored a touchdown against Clemson, I believe, in 1985. Old schoolers, check me on that. I thought this was pretty good though today. I mean, I got to be honest. I didn't think that like you sort of Larry Munson folks. They're not going to be happy with this, but like that's you got to play well at the time that you're out there. And I thought let's see, Georgia had almost double the amount of plays for the roughly 120-ish plays. I thought Georgia was the better team on like 100, but there were about 20 plays that hurt them. Whether it was Vanderbilt touchdowns or moving the ball. But generally speaking, I thought the Vanderbilt quarterback really competed. That catch, which was right down here, okay, right down this way. That was an amazing catch on fourth down. That was an amazing catch. That kid did a great job. They reviewed it. Man, Malachi Starks was all over him. He made a Ohio State level Peach Bowl 2022 Peach Bowl catch. I mean, it was an impressive catch. And like if you're going to, be in the conversation to beat Georgia, you're going to have to do that. But you're going to have to do it over and over and over and over again. Vandy just couldn't do that. As soon as they didn't get the 2-point conversion, there was just no shot of them coming back to win the game. And, that was with 6 minutes to go. So, I mean, a little more competitive than Georgia would have liked, but I liked the way they took the error. out of the ball in the third quarter. I think they took up almost half, if not more than half of the quarter. It was crazy. They did not get a touchdown. A touchdown there ends the game. But again, now here's Peyton Woodring, 31 yarder, 44 yarder, 30 yarder. Hey man, I mean, so that's 10 points basically. They won by 17. You got to have those. You've got to have those plays. Now they took a knee, or it could have been 24. But like, this is what you expect to me when you come up here. So people are basically on vacation, the fans. Vanderbilt is almost never, not never, in Georgia's category in terms of players. And only when Georgia is sort of not great, i.e., 2013. 2013 on this field was an abomination. They were out there with walk-ons everywhere. I know people don't remember that with Aaron Murray, but it was Aaron and everybody else. No Todd Gurley. No, I mean, it was just it was bad. And you know, when you come up here, you should win, and Georgia basically has. I mean, when you think back to, we were talking about it before the game, like 1985, they tied them. Vince was pissed after that one. 91, I don't know how Georgia lost that game, but they did. They lost in 91 to Vanderbilt. And then everything from that point forward has been either decisive or tight, but they've all been wins. I mean, the win in 13 between 1991 and today in Nashville, I mean, I don't remember anything else. And Kirby's teams have really come up here and decimated. This was not as decisive as 17, but it was something like that. This was not as decisive as 21 for sure. But Vanderbilt was really at a low point at that, I would have to say, and Georgia was getting to its high point. So they were just crossing, in the night. But this is a Georgia team that can, and I would almost say should, play for and win the national championship. Should they win the national championship? I don't know. I know this. They'll be completely and utterly ready to play when they play that game. Whatever the big games are, so to speak, they're going to be ready for those games. Now, you've got Florida. I think that's a big game for Georgia. I know that lately they've blown Florida out, but they've not played great at times in that game. Florida's got some players they're losing right now at South Carolina. Tennessee's losing to Texas A&M. I expect Tennessee to lose that game now that I've watched them play. I picked the Vols. Man, Max Johnson just wants to get like killed out there. Him and Daniels at LSU have like death wishes, but Max really hangs in there. But this Georgia team, there's stuff to clean up. But when you play half the game without Brock Bowers and half the game without Truss, now you don't have Mims, you don't have Truss, you have Bowers. I mean, you're starting to like not be Georgia after a while, and that's not a great position. I think the defense, though, I have to say, really, I'm just going to watch this couple plays here. I do think Georgia's defense played well today, generally speaking, and climb that pocket. There you go. Hey, man. I mean, Max is a good player. He doesn't have all the physical tools maybe that would make him an elite player, but he knows how to play quarterback. And it is odd watching him play as a left-handed quarterback, just because he's left-handed. And it was a little bit weird with David Green too. Left-handed, man. I never did like playing left-handed people in tennis or basketball. It was not fun. But I think that this team, I fully expected this. But I think they did play pretty well today, I have to say. Kirby thought they did too. But there were some things, the turnovers obviously are bad. But like, think about it this way, y'all. Think about if both those turnovers were touchdowns, that would get you to 27, and then you miss the field goals, all three of them. Oh, let's just say you miss two of them. Then you're in a real fight. That's how tight these games can be. Doesn't even matter if you're playing Vanderbilt. If both those touchdowns, that gets you to 27. Both of the turnovers or touchdowns gets you to 27. And then, you take away the 6, then you're only winning, 31 to 27, and there's a lot of questions. Well, there's questions now because people do this. But when your offense is rushing, is throwing up 540 yards, it's on the road. I mean, it is on the road. But that's really dominating the other team. They just got to clean up the little mistakes. And they did that against Kentucky now. I mean, they were completely ready to party. that game. They stepped up against Auburn. Will someone catch them? They could. They could. But they're going to have to be really good. They're going to have a quarterback that plays. This kid played pretty well today, but he could not have. The production was not there for him, and that's it's asking a lot to beat these dogs because when they can sort of routine you like they did today, even with the mistakes, they're routining you. They didn't punt today. They did not punt the football. That is amazing.